How's it going, everyone? This is Christopher Smithies, the founder of SAG, and I am here to start a new show. We're going to call it NBA Spread Talk with Chris Smithies. So, of course, I'm your humble host, Chris Smithies. Here, basically, in this game is going to be all about spread. We're going to talk NBA spread every day for each game, making this a new series. And we're going to start today, November 24th. The first ever day, and we're going to have put this into three categories. We have the money pick, we have an average pick, and we have an avoid pick. So the money pick is you got to bet this. This is the game I want your money on. An average pick, if you feel really confident with it, go straight ahead. But I'm not saying to put the big money on this one. And then the avoid pick is the pick that I mean, if you really want to bet it, go ahead. But I would suggest you avoid this game, but I'm just giving you a pick for the sake of it. So we are going to get started here. The first game we are going to talk about is the Phoenix Suns and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Suns coming off a big win against the Spurs Monday. The Cavs coming off a loss where they did cover against Brooklyn. Just going to start off by giving you some spread stats for you that I call this. Right now, Phoenix is currently 9-8 all time against the spread. They're 3-2 as an away favorite. They're 6-3 with equal rest, and they're 8-2 with 1 day rest. They're 4-3 away, and they're 3-2 in the last 5. Looking at Cleveland, they've been really good against the spread at 11-5-2, one of the best teams to bet. But in the last 5, they've been calming down a bit at 2-3. They're 4-3 as a home underdog. They're 6-4-1 with equal rest. They're 4-3 against the West. They're 5-2-1. This is all against the spread after a loss. Looking at the injury report here, we have only one injury for the Suns. They're basically fully healthy with Abdel Nader questionable. For the Cavs, they have quite the packed injury report. They have C.D. Osman, likely he's going to play, he's probable. Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland are questionable, and Evan Mobley and Lamar Stevens are out. Looking at this, the Suns are 6.5 point favorites. It may have raced to 7.5, but I was able to take it at 6.5. I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Cavs are beat up right now. They are struggling. And if we don't see Jarrett Allen or Darius Garland in the game, they already got Colin Sexton out for the season. This Suns team is on fire. They're playing really well. I think the Suns win and they dominate this game. Cleveland is just a bit too depleted right now to really even cover this game. I think this one won't even be close. It's tough luck for Cleveland injury-wise because they were really covering spreads. So moving on to the next game, we have the LA Lakers, who just came off a tough loss last night against the New York Knicks without LeBron, who was suspended after an altercation with Isaiah Stewart. And we have the Indiana Pacers, who came off a huge win where they dominated in Chicago against the Bulls. Looking at the Lakers, they are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5. They're 6-13 all time. Not a good team to really back. They're 0-2 back on the second game of a back-to-back. They're 2-5 on the road, and they're 3-4 as an underdog. Looking at the Pacers, they are 3-2 in the last 5. They're 10-9 this season. They are 3-1 as a home favorite and 4-3 after a win. Right now, the Lakers are 4-point underdogs. And let's just check the injury report first before we take a full really crack at this. Right now, we have AD is questionable and none in Austin Reeves or out. For the Pacers, it's only Karis LeVert who is questionable in this one. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's time to back the Lakers in this one. LeBron's coming back from a suspension. He's fully healthy. Both teams aren't that great defensively, but man, the Lakers can score the ball. I like these matchups in the post. The only matchup I really don't like is Miles Turner on DeAndre Jordan. But make sure, guys, that AD is playing. If AD is not playing, do not bet the Lakers in this game. But if AD plays, they have their full lineup. Guys, this is a game to smash the Lakers, because even if the Lakers keep it close, we still win the money, and that's what matters the most, really. So, looking at the next one, we're going to talk the Hornets and the Magic. Magic just got blown out by Milwaukee. I mean, they got smacked. I think Milwaukee was up like 46 at half. It was just an obliteration and, I mean, of proportions. And the Hornets just came off a big win in Washington. They won, I believe, 119-113. Looking at some stats, the Hornets are 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. They're 11-8 all time, 5-6 away. They're 10-4 when they have equal rest. And in the East, they are 8-4 against the spread. They've been really firing on all cylinders. Miles Bridges is playing great. Now he's taking a step up. LaMelo is doing this thing. His team's been really good lately. Looking at the Magic, not so good. But lately against the spread, they're 3-2, 7-11 all time, but only 1-6 at home. 1-6 against the spread at home, 6-7 on equal rest, and 5-9 in the East. Magic really haven't been that good of a team to bet this year against the spread. Next up here, we are going to take a look here at the injury report. Just give me one second, I got it pulled up. We have for the Charlotte Hornets, P.J. Washington is doubtful. Gary Harris is questionable for the Magic. H1 Moore and Cole Anthony are for sure out in this game. So no Cole Anthony in this game. Jalen Suggs gets to start the 1. Harris at the 2. Wagner, Carter, and Mobama is what it likely will look like. Franz Wagner has been playing pretty good, putting up some decent stats. But guys, I know this is the first game. The Magic are coming back from a road trip. First game back home. But guys, give me the Magic to cover the spread. The spread is at +8. Give me the Magic +8. Honestly, they got blown out. They're going to come back this game. They got blown out way too big to not respond. Even though they're not good at home, and Cole Anthony is out. This is why the Hornets number is so high. The Hornets are coming off a high, again, beating Washington. Now they got to come back to Orlando. They're probably going to underestimate Orlando. There was a game before where it was a really close game. Then the Hornets finally pulled away when they were 6-point favorites. But I think the Magic can keep it tight. And hopefully Gary Harris can play this game. That's going to really help. And I just think this is a setback game for the Hornets. I think the Magic are keeping this close. Oh, yeah, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention this. The money pick was the Lakers. This Magic and the Suns pick were average picks. These are average picks. So not money pick, but the Lakers game is a money pick. Bet that. So average pick, Magic +8. I think that number is too high. I just do. So next up, we have the Nets and the Celtics here. The line right now is basically even. It's basically money line, both sides. It's going to be a good game, by the way. I believe this is on ESPN. The Nets are 5-0 in the last 5 games, straight up. 7-10-1 against the spread all time. 4-5 against the spread away. 6-8-1 in the East against the spread. The Nets did beat Cleveland, but they failed to cover them. They won 117-112. In the last 5 games, the Celtics have been 1-4 covering the spread, 10-7-1 all time, 4-4 at home, and 6-6-1 conference in the East against the spread. Very even numbers. Their one cover in the last 5 was against the Lakers, which doesn't say too much if I'm honest. So this is a really tight one. This is going to be another average pick for me. But first, before I go there, I got to talk injury report. Just taking a quick look here. Joe Harris and Bruce Brown are out. Dennis Schroeder likely will play, but Jaylen Brown and Josh Richardson are questionable. Now, this will be interesting. Take the Nets money line is my average pick. And, it could go your way. If Jaylen Brown's out, that's a big boost for the Nets. Now, I know the Nets don't have Joe Harris and Bruce Brown, but Patty Mills and LaMarcus Aldridge have been playing really well. They still got Harden, Griffin. They got Bembry, who's a good athletic player. Guys, this team's going to probably pull this one out. This is a big game on national television. Durant and Harden will show up in this one, I think. Give me the Nets on the money line as an average pick. So going into the next game, we have the Heat versus the Timberwolves. This is a really close one. The Heat played yesterday in Detroit, just pulled away in the fourth quarter late, last minute, thanks to Tyler Hero and 14 points in the fourth. Tyler Hero's been balling this season. Just 1 second. Just got to make sure everything's working. Yep. Heat against the spread. They are 4-1 in the last 5. They're 12-6 all time. 3-0 on the second game of a back-to-back against the spread. They're 7-2 against the West, and they're 2-5 when they are an away favorite. Looking at the Timberwolves, they have failed to cover in the last 5. They're 89 all time. They're 1-2 when they have a rest advantage. Only play 2 against the East, 1-1, and they're 5-6 at home against the spread. Looking at the injury report, we have for the Heat, nothing too crazy. Markieff Morris will not be playing this game, but other than that, not too much. Josh Okogie is questionable for the Timberwolves, so not too much when it comes to the injury report. But guys, I want you to avoid this game. This is going to be a good game. Again, this is basically a money line pick here. 2 points in this one. Guys, avoid this one. This is going to be a good game, but I don't know. I know that the Heat are pretty good in the second game of back-to-back, but they had to put a lot of energy in Detroit. They might be a bit tired. And the Timberwolves might come to play in this game. I just really don't know in this game. It's a toss-up. So this is an avoid pick, but I will go with the Heat on the money line, but just avoid this one. So next game here, we have the Rockets and the Bulls. The Bulls are big-time favorites here. I believe it's at 9 points. You could catch it at 8.5, I believe. So let's look at the stats here on this one. The Bulls in the last 5 are 3-1-1 against the spread. They just got blown out by the Pacers. They're 12-6 against the spread all time, 2-3 as away favorites, and 6-2 against the West. Looking at the Rockets, they're 6-10-1 against the spread all time. 1 in, I think, 15, 16, don't matter. They suck, and that's the point. But they're 1-4 against the spread in the past 5, 1-5 against the spread at home, and 1-3 against the East. So, guys, I know this is a high number, but I'm taking this as a money pick. Give me the Bulls, minus 8.5, money pick. Put your money on this game, and I'll tell you why. Because the Bulls just got blown out at home against Indiana. It was an embarrassing loss. It was a reality check for them. And even though this is the Rockets, the Bulls are going to be motivated because they just got smacked by a team that's not better than them, that sucks defensively. They got smacked around. So this game, they're going to come out strong, and they're going to blow them out of the wire. They can do that against the Rockets with DeRozan, Levine, and all those guys. Just, guys, give me the Bulls. Even if Nikola Vucevic doesn't play, him and Caruso are questionable. I don't care. They're going to blow them out. Don't even think this will be close, guys, because it won't. I think Patrick Williams is out for this one too. But still, guys, that's why it's probably closer than 8.5 because the Bulls are a good team, and they're going to show out. They show out against smaller teams at times. So I think the Bulls are taking this one. Money pick. Put your money on this one. Next up, we have Utah versus Oklahoma City. Utah are 4-1 in the last 5. They just came off a 1-point loss, though, against Memphis. 10-7 all time. 5-3 as an away favorite against the spread, and 3-2 after a loss. OKC is about 2-3 in their last 5. 11-6 all time. 5-3 at home. So they're not too bad. They've been covering some spreads this year. Utah is 12.5-point favorites. This is a big number, but it's probably because it's a bounce-back game. And Utah has actually proven that they can cover the spread away, unlike last year. So they haven't been too bad. They'll probably be motivated coming off a loss. Guys, I want you to avoid this one. This number is way too high. I cannot trust Utah at 12.5 points. Maybe if Shea doesn't play, but guys, just avoid this one. I'm going to take Utah for the sake of it, but guys, avoid Utah. Straight up, just avoid this game. Next up, we have the Pistons in Milwaukee, and I know the stats, guys. I don't even have to pull up the stats for this one. I don't care who's playing and who's not playing. This line is at 15 points. 15 points. I know the Pistons have not covered away, but 15 points is a crazy amount after Milwaukee blew a team out. I can't trust either team here. No matter what stat you throw at me, I can't trust either team. So for the sake of it, I'll go with 15, plus 15 for Detroit. But guys, avoid this game. I'm being blunt with you. Avoid this game. Do not bet this game, guys. Straight up avoid it. Next up, we have the Raptors versus the Grizzlies. Raptors are 3-2 in the last 5 against the spread. They're 7-11 all time, 6-4 as an away underdog, but only 1-4 against the West, with their one cover going against the Kings, who stink. Looking at Memphis, they're 2-3 against the spread in the last 5. They came off a huge win thanks to Jaren Jackson Jr. against the Utah Jazz. 10-7 against the spread, 6-3 at home, and 4-4 coming off a win. Looking at the injury report for this one. It just came in. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out. Ooh. I still would say avoid this game, guys. The Thunder are at home. They're going to put some fight into this one. When they're at home, they fight. I wouldn't trust it. And this line probably just went even higher with Shai officially out. So, okay, back to this one here between Toronto and Memphis. For Toronto, they might get OG Anunoby back. He is questionable. Yuta Watanabe. Sorry. Oh, man. Japanese people are not going to be happy with me on that one. He is questionable. And Precious Achiuwa is questionable as well. For the Grizzlies, we have Dylan Brooks as questionable. Sam Morrell and DeAnthony Milton will be out for this one. So I think Dylan Brooks will play, but we got to see about that one. Guys, Memphis is one of the best teams shooting-wise. They score the ball, but they cannot play defense, and this is what's going to separate them from a contender. Right now, the Raptors are at +3. Guys, give me the Raptors to cover after a bad loss against Golden State. I think this is a prime game for the Raptors to stand. No Valanciunas, and Brooks might not play. And if the Raptors get OG Anunoby, that's another top scorer they get back. That would be huge for them. But even if they don't have OG, I think this team can fight and claw their way in this game. They are a solid defensive team that can play good defense against Memphis. And they'll probably force turnovers, turn their defense into offense, because Memphis cannot play defense to save their life. And that's the team the Raptors need to play, really, to get their shooting going, really. Like, for example, when they played Sacramento, they blew them out the water because Sacramento did not play a lick of defense. So average pick here, this is average, the Raptors +3. Next up, we have the Hawks and the Spurs here. The Hawks are 3-2 in the last 5. They just came off a win against Oklahoma City. They're 7-11 all time against the spread. They're 1-7 against the West and 0-9 on the road. 0-9 against the spread on the road. That's pretty big. But one thing I will say, though, if you look at who they're playing, they've been playing Utah, Denver, Dallas. They're playing some good West teams. They're playing not as good of a West team as 4-point favorites. Only 4-point favorites against the Spurs. Looking at the Spurs, they're 3-2 against the spread in the last 5, 8-8 all time, 4-3 at home, and 6-5 coming off a loss. They lost against Phoenix but covered the spread then. Looking at the injury report, only thing in doubt is Doug McDermott's questionable for this game. So nothing for Hawks. They're fully set. Got it going. So, guys, I think this is an interesting one to call. The Spurs aren't the greatest of teams, but they fight. They had a players-only meeting, which means they could be motivated at home. But, guys, the Hawks are only 4-point favorites. We remember what they did last year. This is a game for them to win. I think the Hawks will win and cover this game. Make it a money pick. Hawks to win and to cover here, -4. I think they're just a bit too good. They're going to overwhelm San Antonio with their shooting. I think they'll cover this game. Next up, we have Philadelphia versus Golden State. Golden State is 10.5-point favorites. I'm just going to go through, since this is an interesting lineup, the stats don't matter as much, really, except Golden State's maybe. So Golden State only has Iguodala out, and for the 76ers, they have Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Seth Curry is questionable, and Joel Embiid will be out for this game. So you might see Seth Curry and Tobias Harris in this game. Warriors are 10.5-point favorites, and I'm going to go with the average pick here, but I'm taking the Warriors. They've just been too good. I'm going to ride on the bandwagon. Not only have they been winning, but they've been covering spreads while they're at it, which is fantastic. I think Golden State's got this. They're too good. This line's going to change. So you got to be careful here, because if Tobias Harris and Seth Curry are playing, this line will go down. So if you're betting the Warriors, I think you wait till Harris and Curry status has been confirmed. Just wait. If you're betting the Sixers, take them now. Take them at this one. And if Curry and Tobias Harris are playing, the line goes down, and you already got a good number at it. So next one, we have Portland and Sacramento. Nothing on the injury report to report, so let's just talk ball here in stats. Portland in the last 5 is 3-2 against the spread. They're 8-10 all time, 2-2 in the second game of back-to-back, and 6-5 against the spread in their conference. Portland just beat Denver yesterday, 119-100. Looking at Sacramento, they're a mess. They're 0-5 in their last 5 against the spread. They're 7-11 all time, 1-1 with the rest advantage, and they're 0-4 against the spread as a home underdog. Guys, the Pacers are 2-point favorites only. 2 points. I got them at 2.5. Guys, give me the money pick. Blazers 2.5, -2.5. Last time Sacramento played really well and then the Blazers got back into it. I don't think the revenge game comes in here. They're just a mess. They're a horrible team. The Blazers are going to come here and just get the job done. It's only 2.5. Only have to win by 3 points? Come on now. We're playing Sacramento. I mean, Dame and CJ have been starting to come back to form. Even though it's a back-to-back, I think Sacramento is just that bad. I think they're just that bad. Make it a money pick for this one. Portland beating Sacramento. Okay, guys, that was it for the slate. About 13 games today. I'm going to go over my money picks, my average picks, and my avoid picks. I'm going to start with the avoid picks. It'll be on the screen. Pistons +15, the Heat money line, and the Utah -12.5. Those are my avoid picks. My average picks are the Suns -6.5, the Magic +8, Nets on the money line, Raptors +3, Wizards -4, and Warriors -10.5. And this is the money pick for this week. We got about 4 of them. Guys, bet these. Lakers +4, Bulls -8.5, Hawks -4, and Blazers -2.5. I'm Chris Smithies, and thank you for showing to the first episode of NBA Spread Talk.